Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. Just doing another quick MLB video. News coming out. Apparently, the Biden administration wanted to postpone the MLB season for at least a month to make sure all the players were vaccinated in time. And the MLBPA, they denied it. They said, nope, we want to start when we want to start. We're going ahead with this. So, I mean, what do we make about this? Who's in the right here?
It's really hard to say. The only reason that the MLB wasn't planning on getting the vaccine before the start was because they didn't. They were going with that movement right now, which is a lot of celebrities and the richer folk and the say healthy athletes shouldn't be jumping the line. And I understand that. That's a very good concept, definitely. And that's probably how it should be. But it's a big ask on the MLB. They've been putting a lot of preparation into the season. They have a very tight schedule. It really comes down to the MLB Players Association, which they're gonna have their own discussion. The Players Association hasn't really said anything about this yet. The MLB has already come out and said this is highly unlikely that they do this. But I understand why the Biden administration wants to do it. It's definitely a move where it can maybe if they get all the players vaccinated, maybe it's a PR push to try to get more Americans to go and get the vaccine because there's still a lot of people that are very doubtful in it. So maybe it's one of those as well. But I can see that the reasoning behind it, but logistically and the amount of money that the MLB would be losing by doing this is why I don't see it happening. But if it comes out publicly and an amount of money that they would have lost by doing this and that being the reason why they do this, that's bad PR on their end.
Yeah, and we could even look at another team, like if I'm not mistaken, it's the Arizona Coastal League. They're also speaking of potentially delaying their season to make sure all the players are vaccinated. So obviously, it's a situation where when there's not as much money involved, like you're hinting, these other leagues are more willing to wait. But when it's a
Yeah.
situation where you have TV deals, you have all these factors, players, they have to want to earn a certain proportion of it. You don't want to push the playoffs back, playing in like November potentially. So, I mean, it just becomes like almost a selfish situation. Yes, not saying the players are fully selfish. They dealt with a lot last year and the fact we've been
Yeah.
playing in this for the fans. I'm not sitting there and saying that. Just in terms of, like you said, the decision being largely probably financially driven. I mean, I would agree with that.
And it's tough to say, right? And on the other end as well, as much as the Arizona Fall League is taking is thinking about taking a month off, and probably all the other leagues should as well, because it's cheaper to run their league with a slight little bit less of the COVID regulation because every single person involved would be vaccinated by that point. Meanwhile, the MLB has already figured out kind of the system. I'm not saying it was perfect last year. I'm not saying it was fantastic. It was even the best that we've seen from any other sporting league, but it ended up working in the end. And if it's only for a month or two, I think they'd rather see that than putting all the players off.
Hey, at the end of the day, there was no time last year, at least I don't believe, where there was a team that had like all five starting pitchers had COVID or anything like we've seen in
Other
leagues like the
leagues,
NHL, even the NBA
yeah,
at the start, where the NBA does have it under wraps now, but it takes a bit. The NFL, they had it under wraps now. It took a bit. So
but
the
MLB's played a whole season under it already.
exactly. And like you said, they didn't do as bad when there was less research around how to actually properly prevent and manage it as well. So I think I agree with the decision based on the fact I don't think it's going to change much. But again, the fact that it is probably so fiscally driven, like you said, from a media PR standpoint, is the more concerning thing.
It just looks bad. And I understand why the Biden administration is pushing for it, but it does seem like they want to be the ones that have all the great ideas, and they're trying. But it would no matter the outcome, it looks good on them for trying.
Yeah, definitely. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon with some more content.